Jessii Vee, and in today's video we're gonna be talking about goblins, and honestly guys, they are much scarier than you think. Before I get started though, in case you did not see my last video, we have a new backdrop behind me. I love this because it really reminds me of like mermaid scales or something, and it's purple, and I love purple. And if you would like to win it, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, so my Jessii Vee channel, turn on your notification bell, and then head over to my Instagram. It is also Jessii Vee. Give it a follow and DM me the colors of what your mermaid tail would be using only emojis. So for example, I'd probably use the crystal ball because I would love purple and gold mermaid scales. That would be amazing. And if you would like a bonus entry, go and add me as a friend on my Goodreads account. Goodreads is an app where you can review books, and I will link my profile down below. It's completely free to join and totally up to you. It's not necessary to enter to win. And one other thing before we get started, I'm so excited about this. We have just added a new plushie onto our website, and it is the cutest creature. Can you guess what it might be? Guys, it's a little goblin. Okay, so his name is Gribble. He is Gribble the Goblin, and I think this is my most favorite plushie yet, because although he's supposed to be a terrifying, awful creature, he's also adorable. So if you guys would like Gribble, we have him for limited time only. I've put his link down below in the description, but I love the fur around his neck, and I love the color. I love mint green. So yeah, Gribble's just gonna stay beside me while I do this video. All right guys, let's get right into today's video. First, talking about what goblins really are. A goblin is a type of fairy originally from European folklore, and the word goblin is originally derived from the Greek word kobolos, which translates to evil spirit. So that's great. The word goblin has traditionally been reserved for an ugly fairy that is either mischievous or malevolent. Goblins are now commonly seen as their own distinct race of humanoid creatures. And you may look at all of these photos of goblins and think, well, they're not that scary, but you would definitely be wrong. There are tons of stories from history that are definitely going to disturb you, and I'm gonna tell those to you today. Goblins can't all be cute like Gribble over here. He brings good luck. Okay, before I get into those really creepy stories, let's talk about some weird goblin facts. Apparently they are terrified of horses because they tend to get stepped on whenever they are around them. And they also absolutely hate dogs, almost more than horses. And it is said that if you see your dog barking into your backyard or into a forest, it's because he could smell them nearby. They also love garbage, and if you ever leave a bag outside your house overnight, they will open it up and steal whatever they want to make their shields and weapons. So when you think a raccoon got into your garbage overnight, it was probably a goblin. Apparently goblins also really love to sing, and their song lyrics are really catchy. Sometimes they'll even lure people towards them with the sound of their music. And it is said that if you listen really closely to the words, the songs are actually really creepy and disturbing, and I have a story to tell you about that later. They love to hide in very peculiar places like stacks of firewood, rain barrels, under logs, under chicken coops, and even in your oven. So if you ever hear really strange noises coming from somewhere in your house, it's probably them. They are also apparently really distracted by shiny things. So if you're ever being attacked by one and you throw something shiny across the room, they'll probably chase after it and you'll have time to escape. They also eat a ton. They're said to usually have a dozen meals a day. And goblin tribes usually don't have enough supplies for that, which is why they sneak into people's houses to get more food. And if there isn't any food that they can find, the next best thing is you. They also love to burn things, but are always very careful about lighting fires in their own lairs. So instead, they like to torch other people's homes. They also believe that writing steals your soul, so they never ever write anything down. Instead, they draw pictures to communicate. Okay, so let's get into the creepiest first story, which you can tell by the title of today's video. It is called Singing Through the Window. So while I was reading about all those legends where goblins can lure people away because of their music, I found this story that apparently takes place in the late 1800s. It's about a 16-year-old girl that was lying in her bed with only a candle burning beside her when she began to hear a beautiful sound. It sounded like an angelic woman singing out in the yard, but she didn't understand why that would be because it was just past midnight. So she of course got out of bed and wandered over to her window to look outside, but she didn't see anything. She couldn't even figure out which direction the music was coming from. It almost sounded like it was coming from all around her. So because she was so drawn to the music, she snuck outside with a candle in her hand and she began searching for the source. She was walking through the grass in only a nightgown when she saw a small light coming from the bushes near the road. And as she got towards it, the singing got louder and louder. She almost felt compelled to reach out her hand and put it into the bush, but as soon as she did, she cried out in pain because something sunk their teeth right into her skin. The only thing that saved her life was the fact that she was holding that burning candle, because she threw it into the bushes and whatever was inside of there was immediately engulfed in flames, aka the goblins. So she ran right back to the home, woke up her parents, told them what happened, and her parents told her that their town had goblins and that she was never to follow any singing that she heard after dark. Okay, and then the next story is called The Goblin Pony. This one is disturbing in its own different way. The Goblin Pony is a traditional French tale that was published in 1900 by a poet named Andrew Lang in his collection of short stories, The Grey Fairy Book. The short story begins with a grandmother warning her 3 grandchildren not to go out at night because it was Halloween and it was super windy outside. She claimed that this meant that witches were out with their minions goblins on the prowl. The goblins were said to go outside in various disguises in order to harm people. But the 3 grandsons completely ignored what their grandmother was telling them and they went outside to pick blackberries. Then they came upon a small black pony that was said to be bewitched, and they didn't remember their grandmother's warning earlier that things aren't always what they seem, and this was in fact a goblin in disguise. The 3 boys didn't know that though, and they decided to all ride the pony at once, and they were thoroughly enjoying themselves. They soon found another group of children and invited them all onto the pony as well. Now, the pony seemed to be completely unaffected by the amount of children that was riding on his back, and this fun eventually turned into horror when the pony began to run towards the ocean. The children were completely unable to stop this pony from where it was going, and the pony ran into the ocean waves while neighing happily as the children drowned. Early in the morning, the grandmother went out to look for her grandchildren. She was extremely worried, and while she was looking, she encountered that strange pony, and she knew immediately what happened to her grandsons because she knew right away that that was a goblin. And that's a real story that was published back in the 1900s. Super creepy, super disturbing. But yeah, I hope you guys learned some new things about goblins because I definitely didn't know any of this stuff before doing research. And it just shows you that they are scarier than they seem. But yeah, if you would like the new Gribble Goblin, I have linked him down below. But I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!